Hey guys, Ken here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, happy Sunday, happy Sabbath. Dude, no football, just a little basketball. Good time to get in some chart work, ain't it, baby? All right, so let's get to work. So Friday, I want to take a look at market index and the game plan. Because there were some weird cross currents in the market on Friday. Even though the QQQs was just up, right, 0.09%, it seemed like a flat day, but it really wasn't. You know, all the eyes were on Roaring Pussy and his shenanigans. And so really people weren't even paying attention to the market. But the market had a lot of failed breakouts, a lot of interesting things that just like, you know, you had some really nice patterns that just kind of kerplunked over. And so we had this like just flat day in the market, but we had some nasty action. Like you saw Bitcoin roll right over, right? You saw Bitcoin roll right over and take down Mara. You saw it take down, right? CLSK, Coin, all of these names. And then, you know, beyond that, you had, right, these kind of failed breakouts in Spotify and so many stocks, right? Where it's just like chop zone on some of them. But I thought it was a kind of a weird day. And so we want to be careful, like this SMCI is like, right, kind of a big bear flag. And so we want to be careful on Monday, even though the market was just flat. You know, NVIDIA is going to be trading tomorrow post-split, right? And, you know, very well, we want to see how this opens. If this gaps up on tomorrow and fades off, it becomes a sell the news event. I think that takes down the market with it. Now, that's a big, hairy Indian butt, right? We don't necessarily know if that's the case. You know, it would have been better. If it had closed up, you know, up over here, then it would have sold off on Monday no matter what, right? But because you had kind of these two rest days, the sell the news play is, you know, a little bit over. But we'll watch it. Right? We have a line in the sand here at 1185. Any kind of gap up, if I'll look for signs of the tape on shorter term time frames, if it starts to roll, then I think the market's probably cooked for the day. But, you know, we don't want to take any guess on it. All the eyes were on GME. You know, the Roaring Kitty was late to his party. He was supposed to be on at 12. He showed up as a zombie. And, hey, power to him, though. The guy had 600,000 people watching him, right? He's still a millionaire. And he watched all his net worth disappear and did not even blink an eye. Weird dude. Ugly as all get up. But I got respect for anybody that's got the money, right? I got respect for anybody that's got those pesos, and so we give it to him. He ugly, but he's still rich, you know, and in America, man, that's half the ball game, baby. So this is probably done. I think now that that's out of the way, my worry is that this felt, usually when this happens, it's like it can often be a climactic phase in the market in terms of speculation. So I want to be really, really careful, you know, on Monday. If NVIDIA sells off and, you know, with this selling off, right, you know, does that put like at a short-term top in the market? Look, timing the top in the market never works, right? But it is just something we got to keep into the back of our head. We had failed breakouts all over the place, failed earnings plays, all sorts of just kind of weird stuff that was going on. So there's still some good-looking charts, but we're going to have to be careful. So there's 4 things that we want to be careful of tomorrow, all right? 4 things that we want to be doing. For number 1, we have an Apple event tomorrow, all right? So we want to watch how this reacts. It's right at all-time highs. Now, Apple almost always sells off into the event. Runs up into the event and it sells off after. 99% of the time I've been watching this stock since I've been a young man. It does that. But, you know, if they make any, you know, it could... You never know, right? So we want to keep an eye on it. If they mention some cool AI stuff, who knows? They might break it out. But I'm always leaning towards fading it because it's just what I like to do, baby. And it always tends to do that. You got the Fed. You got the CPI Wednesday. All right. And then you got Tesla. Tesla pay package vote on Thursday, right? So that's why this thing has been just kind of consolidating like this. You know, everybody's trying to figure out this or that. But the reason it's just consolidating, it's not going to, you know, that pay package vote is really, really important, right? Because you never know. Elon Musk gets very ornery. He doesn't get his money. he could just say, hey, fuck it, right? And I would highly doubt he'd say that, but that's just how people act, right? So just, that's how people think. So just something to kind of keep in mind of. These are the things. So you got Apple, Fed, CPI, Tesla, boom, right? Now let's go into the watch list. There are still some good names out there. I thought that this crowd had a late day push into the close, right into the breakout spot. Let's see what goes on with this bad boy. Hold on, my news is not refreshing, but what the fuck? Oh, good. My news is not refreshing, but you've got something happening over here, guys. Let's keep an eye on this. It's right into breakout. And you never know, right? With the way some of these stocks are acting, it could even fail the breakout. But, it's in breakout territory. Let's give that some respect. I think we've got a couple other names that I really want to watch. So, first of all, I want you to add this TSM to the watch list. It's after this big push, you had kind of a couple grindy rest days. Friday, man, it was hot for a second. They just kind of rolled over with the rest of the market. But I like the overall look of this. I want to keep that in action. Halo, after that big news push, you got an inside day. Look how narrow this range today is. Guys, when you have some kind of stock with the news out and then you get this really, really narrow range day, that's usually pretty bullish. So I want to keep an eye on that one. AVGO, we got flat top breakouts setting up on this. Probably it's expensive. You probably want to do maybe like the 1,500 calls or something. Go a couple weeks out. If it's got any liquidity in it, that's probably, the play. MU, inside day, right? So you had basically two power candle, inside day. Let's see how this reacts on. Let's see how this one reacts. Core, after that big push, you're pulling back into the 9 EMA. Got a good look to it. I like that. You got Meta. After finally the break or the 50-day moving average, right? You got a couple consolidation days. I would give this not an A+ setup, of kind of like a B setup, but hey, man, sometimes you get enough B's, they add up to C's? Fuck if I know, right? Fuck if I know. Now, on the other side of things, guys, I don't know what just happened here. On the other side of things here, I want to add a couple mid-cap names in. This NEOG had this big push. Inside day, under the 200-day moving average. Dude, it's ready to party. Let's see if it breaks back over. ANF, after the earnings thrust, pull back into the 9 EMA. It's starting to consolidate. You got a level right here, guys. Right? You got a level right here. If it clears, you're going to have yourself some nice action. I would zoom in on an hourly time frame to do that. And I got a couple shorts I want to add in case NVIDIA. If NVIDIA dumps, I want you to put a 760 alert on SMCI. All right? If NVIDIA dumps, I want you to put a 760 alert on SMCI. It very well could just bounce off here into breakout too, right? You never know. So we want to kind of read the price action. But the price action has been very weak of recent. Let's keep an eye on this 760, 750 break. SFIX after the earnings, right? Rest day. I think this one's got a chance too. I don't really trade these kind of little names, but we've got a level here, and it's an earnings play, and frankly, it's not going to move like some micro float stock. So I like that one. FSLR, any dump into the bone zone here, I want to look to add some. If any dump into the bone zone and then like a green candle to hold, I want to look to add some. I think that one's got some potential, but I need it to dump. I don't even want it to hold the 9 EMA because it's too extended. I want it to get into the bone zone. I think it's going to be better. If we need some shorts, and you know what, this one fakes out a lot, but watch this 15 spot on CLSK. This is just in case the market gets rugged. We don't know. I mean, there's no signs of that. It's been holding out at highs, but, right, you never know. The key is going to be this NVIDIA, how it acts for this post-split, and then we're going to be good. Watch this 15 mark. If it gets there, dude, we're in for a shredder, all right? So that's the list. I'm sticking to it. Big thing, all right, NVIDIA. How does it act? Post-split. Does it sell off, all right? Then you got Tesla pay package vote on Friday. All right. Then you got Apple event. Watch this level over here, this all-time high level. And you got CPI, PPI. Dude, we're going to be able to party, all right? And on the economic side, let's see here. You know, earnings, really not much left here. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, this is, I think, last week's earnings. Let me see if this updates. Let me get the updated one here. Bum, 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 bum. Hold on here. There it is. All right, week of June 10th. Monday, 3-year Treasury, blah, 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 China CPI, PPI. Then Wednesday's our big one, right? FOMC and CPI. Bum, 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 right? Dude, so this week is going to be all sorts of juicy, especially, right? Apple, Tesla, so on and so forth. So sharpen your knives. Let's get rolling. Let's do what we do, which is the do. Guys, I love you guys. Trade well, trade fast. You know the deal.